All right, well, let's get started. Hello, welcome to the 2022 North Carolina SBIR Funding Celebration Summit. This is a celebration and the culmination of a year-long program made possible from the Small Business Administration's Federal and State Technology Award and many partners to encourage and enable more innovators and entrepreneurs across North Carolina to access the significant opportunities provided by the SBIR and STTR programs. My name is Krista Covey, and I'm the president of First Flight Venture Center located here in the Research Triangle Park, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you here today. But before we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize our sponsors and partners, of course, without whom none of this would be possible. So a massive thank you to our FAST program sponsors, the U.S. Small Business Administration, JWM Consulting, Lab Archives, Eva Garland Consulting, the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, Hutchison Law, the North Carolina Biosciences Organization, North Carolina State University, and Alexandria Launch Labs. So we'll do our virtual applause. Thank you so much. So First Flight at our core is an innovation hub, but we're best known for being the longest standing nonprofit business incubator focused on science and technology in the state of North Carolina. First Flight serves what we call high science, high impact companies that are out to change the world for good, including working with many innovators that have a goal of launching new scientific and technological breakthroughs. But our overall mission is to help you turn your good ideas into great commercial successes. So we work with founders that are solving big problems that humanity faces. These solutions are typically, not easily replicated, have a high barrier to entry, and many take years to commercialize. And our work includes helping innovators achieve commercial success easier and faster. And our big vision for the organization is to be a global center of excellence, empowering scientific innovators to change the world. So we do have a physical location in the heart of the Research Triangle Park here in North Carolina. And if you're not familiar, the Research Triangle Park, also known as RTP, is the largest R1 university-related research park. And it's considered to be one of the most successful research parks in the world. RTP covers about 7,000 acres in the middle of the triangle, and that's formed by the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, Duke University in Durham, and North Carolina State University in Raleigh. And so First Flight is very fortunate. We have 25,000 square feet of offices, labs, co-working, and conference room spaces for these early stage startups here in the Triangle. We typically host 30 to 40 resident companies at any given time, and they're busy boosting the economy and creating thousands of jobs. And one of the best ways that we can serve our companies is by providing a community of support. And in addition to the resident companies that we have, we actually serve hundreds of companies each year, well beyond the Research Triangle Park, across the beautiful North Carolina landscape and well beyond. But we are also happy to have a satellite office for the North Carolina Military Business Center here at First Flight. It's a wonderful resource for companies with a goal to work within the DoD and other military capacities as well. So I invite you to please come visit if you're in the area. So we've graduated over 400 companies, and these companies include United Therapeutics, Advanced Liquid Logic, Babies, and many others that account for well over $10 billion in market capitalization. Last year alone, I'm very proud to say that the First Flight resident companies alone, and these are not including the non-resident companies that we serve, again, across the state, raised over $3.7 million in grants and over $86.5 million in investment dollars. And so First Flight is focused on innovation and serving entrepreneurs at every stage of the business life cycle. We provide education, mentoring, access to funding, and tailored programming to help innovators turn their ideas into commercialized successes. But again, as I mentioned, we serve as a hub to also connect the entrepreneurs with resources and folks like the ones you'll hear from today. And so this is our runway to success, and most of our programs are aviation themed since, our name is First Flight, so we're quirky like that. But this is how we can easily see the opportunities and also the gaps on the entrepreneurial journey and where we can step in to help and support. Again, we're serving innovators from concept, very early stages, to commercial success and beyond. And that means we need to have various programs to meet the entrepreneur wherever you're at, because each company is a little bit different. And I won't go through all of the programs, but I will take a minute to highlight a few here. So we do have a program called Propeller, which is really a pre-accelerator program to help innovators learn the language of business. And of course, we work with so many brilliant scientists and technologists who've been working in a university setting, and business can be a whole different language. So Propeller does help folks test and validate their ideas and determine if they can or they should continue to pursue, pivot, or pause their idea. It's typically a 6-week boot camp, and it's offered as an in-person cohort. It's also offered online, and we have a self-paced model, especially if you have clinical hours or something like that. As many of you know, the SBIR process requires a commercialization strategy, and Propeller helps you define that strategy. So it's a great program. And I wanted to show you this next slide here to highlight the fact that these programs are made possible from the awards from the SBA. In fact, the Growth Accelerator Fund Competition Award enabled us to serve a female founders Propeller cohort this year to help increase and support minority founders in the STEM arenas, which is really exciting. And as I mentioned, this FAST program would not be possible without the SBA, and we're honored to serve North Carolina. I'm excited and honored to also say that we will be posting our 2022-2023 FAST program year on our website after September 30th. So please stay tuned for all the details on a great program year ahead. We've got lots of great events scheduled for that. So getting back to some of the programs here, First Flight has a signature program called Lift Off to help early stage entrepreneurs get access to non-dilutive funding from federal agencies through SBIRs and STTRs. And it's designed to help innovators write the competitive grants that win these federal dollars, right? And so we partner with expert grant writing agencies like Eva Garland Consulting, which you'll hear from later today, to offer deeply subsidized grant writing to help startups in order to be more competitive. In fact, Liftoff has subsidized over $250,000 in funds. And in turn, the companies that went through the Liftoff program have raised over $18 million in federal funding since we started the program in 2015. And you can also see from this chart that 50% of the companies received grant funding within the year, and 100% of the companies received funding within 2.5 years in the program. So those are really good statistics. And the program also helps increase the national ranking in North Carolina from 16th place when we started. And just for comparison, North Carolina is about 9th place population-wise, so we were not punching at our weight. However, now we are currently in 7th place, so finally in a better position compared to our capabilities. And I believe Eva Garland will also have some additional statistics to share with you later on in our program today. But we're very proud of the program and hope to serve even more startups with grant writing assistance going forward. So the Small Business Administration's Federal and State Technology Award, FAST, provides funding to help us expand Liftoff across North Carolina and specifically focus on minority, female-founded, rural, and economically disadvantaged companies with additional education programming to increase the chances of winning. So here are some stats from the 2020-2021 FAST program. And you can see 56 grants were awarded to 21 companies that attended First Flight programs. And those companies that attended the boot camp, which is just a part of the FAST program, won 16 grants. So that's pretty exciting. And these are, the next slide will show you some of the pictures from the boot camp that we did this year with panels from federal agencies, program managers, grant writing. We did grant writing workshops, coaching sessions, and awards for free grant writing for phase 1 submissions. So we actually invited 35 companies into this boot camp, and 6 were awarded the free grant writing assistance. So we offered, and then on top of the 6 phase 1s, we offered 100 additional consulting hours with Eva Garland Consulting, which accounted for 8 more phase 1 submissions this year. So we're really excited about that. This is a significant opportunity for developing early stage companies, and we're grateful for all the partners that participate in this very special event. So it was a great boot camp. So, as I mentioned, the boot camp is just a component, one component of the FAST program. There are events happening all year long, including workshops, reverse pitches by program managers from various agencies, educational events, and of course, our SBIR showcase, which is happening today. So another program I'll mention is Hangar 6, which is First Flight's advanced prototyping facility. And it's aimed to support entrepreneurs and startups who are developing, of course, high science, high impact prototypes on their path to commercialization through the development and fabrication of mechanical and electrical devices. So folks who need a working prototype, essentially. We have 3D printing, metalworking, fabrication space available for the development of physical products. And we also offer design services for companies with support from a PhD level team that can help you walk through the entire process of taking the napkin sketch to the full working prototype and small batch manufacturing. And of course, working with Hangar 6 boosts the odds of winning a grant proposal with higher quality pre-proposal materials. And it helps to speed up the early project operations to be more productive and cost effective. So that's just another resource that we have at First Flight. And the last program I'll mention is a new Wheels Up Accelerator, which we launched this year in collaboration with the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, BARDA, to scale disruptive science and technology focused on health security solutions. So this is a 12-week program, which provides business and technical mentoring, funding support, and ends with a demo day where participants are able to pitch to BARDA Ventures and other investment groups. So that will happen in November for 10 companies. And of course, you know, the accelerator comes with prize money, which totals over $100,000, and that does not include all the wraparound services offered during this program. So we're really excited for that demo day coming up. So this is part of the overall strategy to help even more innovators and entrepreneurs gain access to much needed federal funding resources to advance our national competitiveness and solve big problems facing humanity. And you all are doing the hard work to change the world for good. And we want to make sure that you have a clear path to commercial success. And those are just a few of the program highlights, in addition to all, again, the education, mentoring, business programming, and a community of support and comprehensive funding resources that we offer at First Flight. So now I'll go over some of the few statistics to highlight you all, our participants today. Thank you for going ahead and filling out the information about your organizations as you registered. As of Monday, we see that 10% of you are minority owned, 19% are female owned, and 3% are rural, and 14% are minority or women and minority owned, and 5% are women, minority, and rural. Go to the next slide. And 23% of you have raised angel or VC funds, and 73% of you have not. And then 17% have submitted an SBIR, STTR, and 24% are in the process of submitting, and 59% of you have yet to submit. And then of the attendees who have submitted the awards, 50% won a phase 1 and 50% won a phase 2. So that's pretty much it from my end. Of course, if First Flight can be helpful to you outside of this event today, please do reach out to us. We would love to hear from you and love to support your efforts.